Yo, it's me, CSCOTT, baby, and I'm back with my review for the 2011 film, Thor, starring Chris Hemsworth. Tom Hiddleston is directed by Kenneth Branagh. Alright, so, here we are, Thor, fourth entry. Got only four. I did three last night, but in the MCU, and as I do, I want to talk about my history with this. So, trailer came out for this. I wasn't impressed. I was like, what are they doing with this? Like, because even when the concept that they're doing a movie about Thor, I'm thinking, how are they going to pull this off? This is to be different. This has to be different than the other ones we presented. You know, like this is Thor, Odin, Loki, Asgard. This has got to be different, right? Because up to this point, the first three films we've had, Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, very grounded. A little spectacular with the Incredible Hulk, but still grounded. Very grounded films. This, you can't be grounded with this. It's fantastical. It is somewhat grounded, but there's still fantastical elements in it. We introduce the more, fantastical side of the MCU, so to speak. You know, the Nine Realms, Jotunheim. I think I don't know. But, yeah, just very fantastical. And seeing this in the trailer, I was like, I don't know. I didn't go see it in the theater. This is the first one I didn't go see. Well, actually, no, it's not the first one I didn't go see in the theater, because I didn't see either of the Iron Man ones in the theater. I saw Incredible Hulk, that's it. Yeah, I decided not to go see this one, and I should have, because it probably would look great in the theater. And this is about the time I started to get on my computer, which I don't have anymore, but get on my computer, start looking on Wikipedia, start looking up what actor's going to be in the movie, who's directing, and I saw the director was going to be Kenneth Branagh. I said, that name. Why do I remember that name? Why is it so familiar? So I clicked it, I started looking up stuff, and I went, you're kidding me. You're kidding me. The goofy guy from Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets is directing Thor. Thor, that is supposed to be this fantastical world, very, it could lend it to a Shakespearean story, something like that. Goofy guy from Harry Potter. There's no way this is going to work. This is the one that's going to end it all. What they're building to, this is it. It's going to die with this film. He's going to ruin it. Then I started looking up some of the other stuff he's directed. I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. He's done some pretty, okay. Still didn't go see it though. Because it's the goofy guy from Harry Potter. Come on. So then it came out on DVD. And Blu-ray, whatever. I put it in. And I was like, yeah, you know what? This works. And, I'll give it to the goofy guy from Harry Potter. He did a good job. So what's the story here? The story is that Thor, God of Thunder, is, after going against his father's wishes, gets sent to Earth without any powers. And his hammer's also sent to Earth, but he needs to prove himself to be able to lift said hammer and be worthy enough to do so. Fish out of water story. Okay. That's the one thing when the trailer was just like, what are they doing? They're stranding him. What? It was something I wasn't really into at the time. But having watched it on the DVD, after it came out on DVD and stopped watching it, I was like, you know what? I get it. This is a very good film. I get what they're meaning with this. Like, he has to prove. Like, he can't just be, I'm God of Thunder. You gotta prove yourself, right? That's what a hero's origin story is. And also, I don't like origin stories. These films are gonna be origin stories, because that's what they are. Except for Iron Man 2. But still, and Incredible Hulk, because that was basically, the origin was just shown to us in the credits. But here, we get Thor coming to Earth. He's hit by a car, and that's where he meets Jane Foster and the others and stuff. And then we have Loki. What's the incident? What's the incident that gets him sent to Earth? Well, the Frost Giants invade Asgard, and as retaliation, Thor brings a small army with him to attack Jotunheim, which is where the Frost Giants are from. In retaliation to this, Odin banishes Thor to Earth and sends the hammer, which I won't say the line because that's my favorite line in the film, so we're going to wait. Sends the hammer to Earth as well. Mjolnir. I'm just now learning how to say it after it's been destroyed and everything, but Mjolnir. Which I used to call it the same way that Cat Denny's called it. Meow meow! Meow meow. But, so he falls to Earth, he meets Jane Foster, Eric Selvig, Darcy, and, he's a fish out of water, he doesn't understand what's going on. And Asgard, when he wants something more, he smashes it on the ground. Here he does it, and he gets yelled at. He hears that his hammer, is somewhere, so he's like, okay, I'm going to go get it, because it's my hammer. I'm going to get it. I'm Thor, I'm handsome, and the ladies love me, and I got hair and a beard, and I'm handsome, and I got pecs, and whatever. He doesn't say all that, but he goes to do it, and this is where it's still the cocky side of Thor. So he thinks he can waltz in, take the hammer. We get a cameo from Hawkeye. Great, foreshadowing of that. And I like that Hawkeye doesn't shoot him here. He has the it on him, right? When he sees that he can't lift the hammer, there's no threat. Like, they're looking for the one who can lift it. They see he can't lift it, so they let him go. Eventually, Eric Silva has to come in and falsify data to get him out of here. And this is going to lead me into one of my, not really negatives, but S.H.I.E.L.D. Oh, how do I describe S.H.I.E.L.D.? I think Gene Winchester said it best. A big bag of dicks. That's what they are. They're early version S.H.I.E.L.D. And they're in the process of thinking they could do whatever the fuck they want because they're S.H.I.E.L.D. And this film is definitely the high point of we could do whatever the fuck we want. And it kind of leads back to Iron Man 2, where Iron Man 2, there was a trial where they thought they could just take the suit from Tony Stark because they're the government, right? Not S.H.I.E.L.D., but the government. S.H.I.E.L.D. didn't show up and say, we're taking your suit. No. They wanted him, they suggested they were going to take the suit because they said Tony Stark wasn't, recommended, but they don't. Here, they just go into Jane's, living quarters, take all the research she's done, just take it. You can't, government or not, you need a warrant to search through someone's domicile, bitch. You need a warrant. They come in there and they just say, we're S.H.I.E.L.D., bitch, we're taking your stuff. Not in so many words, but I'm just saying, that's basically what it is. They even take Darcy's iPod for some reason, which makes no sense. But they go in and they take it. And then at the end of the film, they're like Thor's like, oh, I'll be your ally if you give back their research. And Coulson's like, of course, you'll need it to continue your research. Like, they're going to work together. I would tell them to fuck off, to be honest. No, you stole my shit. Fuck you. Give me my stuff back and I'll do my research, but we ain't working together. You stole my shit. No, you were a big bag of dicks to me. I'm supposed to be friends with you now? No way. That makes no sense, the way that S.H.I.E.L.D. was treating them, that they would suddenly be like, oh, okay, we'll be allies. Thor, I understand, because he's negotiating. I understand that. Even though he's not really technically allied with them when Avengers starts, but we'll get to that. It just doesn't make any sense. Loki's motivations in this film, revenge because he was lied to? Okay. He finds out he's a frost giant, which complicates a lot of things. Like, the biggest thing being, how does he have his mother's powers if he's adopted? Because that's the thing, is that Thor has his father's powers, Loki has their mother's powers. Okay. But you find out he's adopted, So how does he have her powers? Are they, you think they'd be inherited? Can she teach them to someone else? How can he do these illusion powers if he's not related to them? And they don't clarify it and don't say, she taught me how to use them when I was younger. No, that was more Thor, but she taught me how to use them when I was younger. There we go. Hello, brother. My nose itches, I'm sorry. They don't clarify how he has the powers. If she taught him or what. Another thing I thought of is that she had an affair with Laufey, but because he's the king, he's the son of the king of Jotunheim, of the Frost Giants. Yeah, it's a thought, but probably not. Right? Lady Sif and the Warriors 3. They are pushed as being the big allies of Thor in this film, and they're the ones that come to rescue him and take him back to Asgard. He is told by Loki that his father is dead because Loki doesn't want him to come back. He knows if Loki knows if Thor is in a bad place. If he believes that there's nothing to come home to, he won't come home. As soon as he learns this, though, he's ready to fight. He's ready to go back. Because he knows there's something to fight for now. And he sacrifices his life not because he wants to fight, but because he's met these human people. And he's sacrificing his life for them, to protect them. And that's what gets the hammer to come back to him. And he raises it up. And you see that look on Jane's face because they don't believe he's the god of thunder. Even when these other freaks show up, they're still freaks to them. When people show up, they don't believe until you see a look on their faces and you see Jane go, oh my God. Just that look on her face and the way he does that. Perfect. I love that scene. There's, the fight with this destroyer, which with Thor doesn't go that far because it's all about Loki anyway. And so Loki's plan is that he makes a deal with Laufey to come to Asgard, and he uses the casket, whatever, this thing. It's a little box thing, which I thought could have been an Infinity Stone, but it's not. He uses it to freeze Heimdall, who's the one that opens the Bifrost and people in and out of there, the Rainbow Bridge as they call it. And he brings Laufey and a few of his subordinates there just to kill Laufey, so that he could be shown as the true king of Asgard. Well, it doesn't work because Thor shows up shortly after. It works at first because the mother believes he did it to save his father, and then Thor shows up and completely ruins that plan. And then they have a fight where Loki falls. They break the bridge. He falls through the temporal portal thing, and who knows where he lands. Apparently he lands where Thanos is, apparently. But, that's where he lands. And then, so now Thor is stuck on Asgard, unable to get back. And he's talking to Heimdall, and Heimdall's telling him that she searches for him, and we show that she is working with S.H.I.E.L.D. now. And like I said, doesn't make any sense because they're a big bag of dicks to them, but they're still going to work with them for some odd reason. I don't know. Doesn't make any sense to me, but I guess maybe the money's right. I don't know. I know she wants to continue her research. Maybe they say they won't let her continue the research unless it's with them. I can get that then. And yeah, so they're separated. Thor can't come back. And that's why it's confusing why she's not in Avengers. Selvig is, but they could have done something to mention like Selvig didn't call her and say Thor's back on Earth. They say she's sent to some place to be protected, but when they meet again in Thor, the Dark World, she acts like she had no idea where Thor was. Well, except for the part with the fighting, I guess, but fighting in New York or what, I don't know. I don't know, all right? So we get the post-credit scene. And this is by far, as serious post-credit scenes that are supposed to link to future films, the most non-essential, the most one that they ignore, basically. Because this one you have Selvig talking to Nick Fury, and Nick Fury shows him the Tesseract. And you have Loki pop up in like a window or something, or a reflection, saying, "Well, that's worth a look." And then you have Selvig saying the same thing. "Well, that's worth a look," implying that Selvig is already under the control of Loki. But then you get to the Avengers, and he's not. So that mid-credit scene means absolutely nothing, because they changed their minds after they put that scene in there and said, no, we're going to show him taking over their minds in the Avengers. And so this scene, other than introducing Selvig to the Tesseract, means nothing. I don't know. Let's talk about the characters here first before I go on to my rating and stuff. Thor. I like the way Thor looks in this. Better than any of the other versions that he has, except for when he has the short hair in Ragnarok. And beyond that. Because this is the most natural his hair looks in all the films until they cut it. Because I firmly believe this is his actual hair. It's a different tint of blonde. It looks more realistic. Whereas I remember going to see Captain America, the First Avenger, sitting there, and they show little teaser for Avengers, and when they show Thor, I'm saying, what they do to his hair? That looks totally fake. That's got to be a wig. Maybe he didn't want to grow his hair out again, but this has. I mean, I think I remember seeing interviews where he has his hair like that. Interviews for this film. So yeah, it was his real hair here, but then they decided to use a wig. But they didn't use the right kind of wig where it looks way too blonde to be his connected to his actual hair. Only when they actually cut his hair does it actually look normal. Well, Jane Foster's a great character. I think she's a great love interest for Thor. She's also an independent woman, but she's not. It's not one of those kind of agenda things where, she's gonna, rights for women and stuff. No, she's a very independent female character. She has a love interest, but she's not dependent on a love interest. Because while they say she's searching for Thor, she's also doing her own thing. And when you pick up in Thor the Dark World, she's out on a date. She's not pining over him. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. Darcy, she's okay. Selvig's one of my favorite characters in the entire MCU. He's a scientist. They kind of ruin him in Dark World, and we don't really see him again after Age of Ultron, which is kind of confusing. They show him working at a SHIELD base. Just kind of disappears. I don't know, but yeah, I like his kind of witty banter. The scene where they get drunk, Excuse me. The scene where they get drunk, I still don't think you're the god of thunder. And he passes out. Great scene. Okay, so what else? Coulson, big bag of dicks in this one, I'm sorry. I know he's just doing his job, or son of Cole, as Thor calls him. Big bag of dicks. I'm sorry. Everything was SHIELD except for the Nick Fury scene at the end. I don't care for SHIELD in this. They're overstepping their boundaries. They're overusing their powers. They think because they have this, stuff, because they're a government agency, they can do what they want. And while I don't like the direction they go with SHIELD in Winter Soldier, which is one of my favorite Marvel movies, I do think that after the Avengers, after Captain America calls them out on their ways in the Avengers, it sort of takes a change from there. So the way they're presented, they're like Thor in this way. They're doing their own thing, they're their own kind of entity, and they do what they want. And they slowly realize they have to be more human than they are. You get what I mean? They're kind of on the same journey. So for my exploration of the MCU, I'm going to put out my favorite line from the films. And mine in this film is, "Whosoever holds this hammer, be they worthy, so possess the power of Thor." I always said that line. It was between this and Go Big, Fall Bigger. But I kind of like the other one. It's more important in the way of the film where it's shown at the beginning It's in the freaking menu, for God's sake. But it's shown at the beginning when he throws the hammer, he says it. And then as Thor's laying there practically dead, you hear it again, the hammer comes down. It's a very important quote to this film, and that's why I like it. So that's why I picked it. All in all, Thor's going to get a 7 out of 10 for me. There's a few things I don't like about it. But overall, it's still pretty good, for the first part of the MCU as they get grander and grander. And, yeah. So what are your thoughts on Thor? Let me know in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.